Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at a new game out on Steam called Eidolon. This is from Icewater Games, and it is available for Windows only, and it is $15, and of course I will have a link in the description to where you can purchase the game for yourself if you wish to do that. I'm going to jump in here. I've played maybe 45 minutes. Alright, I'm feeling hungry. I'm going to go ahead and eat something. But before that, let's go through this menu real quick. Like I said, I played 45 minutes, and there are a lot of things that are still a giant mystery to me, but that's kind of the point of the game. So these are actually two documents I've found, one which pertains to Eleanor, and one which pertains to Eleanor and an earthquake. And I will show off a little bit more of what those can do in a second. I have no idea what this part of the menu is about. This is our items, basically, our inventory, if you will. And then I'm not sure what this is about either. I think it allows us to take notes. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we can just take notes here. And then we've got a couple of other things that are also kind of a mystery. And again, I don't mean to make this sound like I haven't played the game at all, because I have. But there really is kind of this sense of mystery to the whole thing. And then every time we sleep, or sometimes you're forced to sleep if you get hurt, you get a little bit of this poem, and time actually passes, which is nice. I was actually hurt from freezing, which basically what it did is it brought me back to this sanctuary, if you will. Alright, so yeah, the whole kind of idea about this game is that it is an open exploration of, I believe it takes place in Washington. So if I click on one of these, though, it will start to kind of lead me in a direction. So let's see. If I start heading that way, there's a chance that we will find something eventually if we keep going that way. What that is, I have no idea. That's, again, I don't want to make this sound like I haven't put in my due time, but that's sort of just kind of how this game is. It's very open. Some games, I guess, like, a big game that I would compare it to is like Proteus. If you played Proteus, if you got into Proteus, and you're kind of into that idea, then there's absolutely no reason to think that you wouldn't enjoy this game, because it truly is just about giving you this environment and letting you explore. I'm actually going to see if I can turn the volume down some. Hopefully you don't mind that at all. Okay. And we will get back in. Oh, maybe that was a little too low. Sorry to be troubleshooting stuff like this, but sometimes it is hard to tell how loud something's going to be until you jump in and try it. Yeah, that's a little better. Hopefully you can still hear some of it. I just want to make sure that you can hear my voice well enough. Yeah, so this is a hard one for me. I'm not even really sure where to start with this, because there isn't a goal, right? The game doesn't technically have an end, and I guess that's something that you can even say about Proteus, is that Proteus at least had an ending. And I'm not saying that is a detriment to the game or anything. I'm just saying it is something to be aware of. This is not a game that you're going to go into and you're going to discover a story and you're going to play through, missions and then wrap up the story at the end of the last mission. That's not how this game works. This is a game that drops you in with no information and you kind of roam around. I'm thinking that I actually should... wrong menu. That I should sleep here, and hopefully when I wake up it will be... That is a little better. Sorry, I was just looking for something a little brighter, because I know the YouTube uploader will probably extra darken things as is, so If I can get it to look a little brighter, that's better. Yeah, so this is very much a game about sort of making out of it what you want, if that makes sense, right? So you're basically gonna get what you put into it. There are, like you saw, there were the 2 documents. I was looking up some info on the game based on the preview Steam page that's up, and it looks like there's, I think it's at over 150 of those documents that relate to various characters and certain events like the earthquake and other things like that. So I mean, there are bits of a story, kind of in the way that like Gone Home works, where you're going to find these sort of miscellaneous items and miscellaneous documents and things, and they will sort of reveal a story as you go through. Ooh, yeah, there are the occasional kind of bugs and glitches and things like that, but I'm also playing an early version, so that may very well be fixed with the Steam release when it goes to the full version. But yeah, I mean, I guess like what I'm getting at is I just want to make this very clear that this is not a game for everyone. And again, I'm not saying at all that I think it's a bad game. I've actually quite enjoyed my time with it, but it is definitely not something for everyone, right? I mean, if you're looking for a game that's going to provide you with a lot of action, if you're looking for a game with like survival elements, you should probably look elsewhere. And I think, I've already seen on the community hub for this game heading up towards release, there has been some confusion as to what the game actually is. I've seen some people saying like how in-depth are the survival elements, yada yada, and it's like, well, the game isn't really a survival game. This isn't a Minecraft, this isn't a DayZ. This is, like I said, much more of a Proteus. This is a, here's your world, go have fun. And go kind of put into it what you will. If you want to spend 10 minutes with it and that's it, and you just want to look at some pretty trees and then be done with the game, that's fine. If you want to spend 100 hours with it and explore every possible location on the map and find this whole interconnecting story between the various characters and all that, awesome. That's also there as well. And I think it's nice that the game kind of has that amount of freedom to it, and kind of allows you to, like I said before, really get out of it what you want to put into it. And I think because of that, it may turn some people off. I think some people are going to go into this and say, it's a game about nothing. It's not really a game. And I don't think that's true. I think it is a game. It's just a very kind of niche game, right? It kind of falls into this very, very small category of games that honestly I think should probably be explored even more, and I'm glad to see a game come out like this. I actually like these kind of games. Some people call them, offensively try to call them like walking simulators and yada yada. I think that stuff isn't necessarily fair. I think this is a game at its core, and I think it's an interesting game. I think it's a smart game. I think it is, you just have to have kind of an open mind going into it, I guess. It's kind of it's an adventure, right? You think of something, if you took a game like Skyrim and took out all of the combat, took out all the quests, all that kind of stuff, would people still like it? And that's always an interesting question, because you're going to get half of the audience that says, and there's an animal, which is also cool. There are like some random animals that show up. You're going to get half the audience that says, no, now it's not a game, now it's a waste of time. And you're going to get the other half that says, now it's something I really like. And I guess I fall on that side of, I actually really like this, and I like the way that it's done. I like that I can just go look at stuff, I guess. I don't know, again, it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, I'm definitely a supporter of this. I don't know, I feel like I haven't really explained a lot, but that's kind of my thoughts on the gameplay at its core. It's just sort of an exploration, and that's fine. It's a really beautiful world. It's an interesting world for sure, and there's a lot of interesting things that go on. But I guess my question is, how long is it going to keep me entertained? Yeah, I should mention that is kind of my one complaint. I'm actually going to stand here for a minute and not do anything. I'm not sure if it's because something in the environment changed or what, but this game is a memory hog. And this is honestly my only complaint. I've got my task manager open, which I normally do while I play games, and it's taking up 20% of my CPU, and it's taking up almost 2,000 megabytes of memory. So for what it is, I feel like that's kind of a lot. It makes me think that maybe what it's doing is actually loading the whole map at once, which it probably shouldn't do that. So I'm just saying, like, if you have a computer that doesn't have a lot of extra memory, maybe keep that in mind when thinking about whether or not you want to purchase this, because it does run into some memory issues, and occasionally I get those weird kind of frame rate hitches, and this isn't like the normal, oh, my computer's just having issues playing this. It seems like the game just uses a lot of memory. So I did want to mention that as kind of my sole complaint about the game. Yeah, sorry about kind of waffling on what the gameplay is, but like I said, it's a little hard to really discuss what it is at its core. What I can say for certain, because these are sort of much more subjective aspects of the game, I think that the soundtrack and the sound design is all beautiful. Sorry, I know I've turned it down quite a bit, but it also varies a lot, so you can hear that the music is actually kicking up a little and getting a little louder, and that happens a lot. Yeah, but I think that the music in the game is just beautiful. I think I saw that there's something like 109 tracks that play at various times depending on where you are in the game, and have, I think, some sort of randomness to them as to which ones play, things like that. This is something I haven't seen before. What are you? Oh, I can't actually take it. I wasn't sure if it was something I could take or if it's just scenery, but it's just scenery. Yeah, but really, like, everything I've heard, you get these, like, nice nature sounds, but, between, like, hearing your own footsteps walk through grass and things, you also hear things like birds in the background, things like that, and it's all just kind of a really nice, relaxing experience hearing all of that, and I think it really makes for, a really nice accompaniment to the gameplay here, and to kind of discovering this whole area, this whole world, really. The other thing is the art style, which I know is not going to be for everyone, but for me, this is like right up my alley. I love this kind of art style. I think I actually probably like this art style more than Proteus, since I've kind of, directly compared to Proteus multiple times here. I think that it's a more interesting art style for me. Okay, so we got another document here. I'm not going to read through it right now, but if you want to, you can pause here and read through if you would like. But then you can, of course, again, click on the name, and I think what it probably does is points you to the nearest thing that also pertains to that person, would be my guess. I can't show it off because I lost them, but you can actually get tools. At one point I had a compass, and I also had a fishing hook, so you can, like a fishing pole, so you can actually fish, and you can catch fish, and then you can eat the fish. So, there are things that you can find, and you find them just like documents. They're just like, instead of being a green cube, it's a white cube, and they're just sort of randomly scattered about. Occasionally you'll find one, and then you can use them if you please. I haven't really found food to be that hard to find or anything. And then also, there isn't, as far as I can tell, there isn't really a fail state anyways, so I don't know really how much those tools do towards helping you in the game. I think they're just kind of there as sort of another thing to do, basically. But yeah, I don't know that there's really much else to be said about this. It's kind of a hard game to recommend, and I don't mean that as in like I don't recommend this, but it's just I think it's more of a you have to know where your interests lie, and if this is something that's going to keep you interested, and if it's something that you feel is worth the money. Like I can't sit here and say, oh, this game is for this person and this person, because maybe it's not. It's sort of this one's a little more, I guess, vague than a lot of games that I cover. Normally, I can say, hey, if you like this game, you'll definitely like this game that I'm covering. I think the closest thing I can come to saying is if you like Proteus, you will probably like this game. But yeah, I would definitely check out some more reviews, more impressions like this, other things like that. Check out what other people are saying before making your purchase. Just to get a feel of what the overall consensus is and see if anyone else brings up any points that sway your opinion at all. But I think that's where I'm going to leave off for today. Like I said, the gameplay is definitely sort of the kind of the toss-up here, right? It really depends on where your interests lie with a game and what you're willing to put in, and whether or not you would enjoy getting back this kind of gameplay, right? So if you think that you would enjoy going and collecting documents and going and seeing all these environments, things like that, then I definitely think you should strongly consider getting the game. If you don't think you'd enjoy that stuff, definitely keep that in mind when deciding whether or not you want to purchase. Other than that, though, I can say that the music is fantastic and the visuals are also fantastic, and for me personally, I do like the gameplay a lot. So all in all, I say other than the game being a bit of a memory hog, I really, really like it. I like everything about it, and I've had a great time with it so far. It's definitely an interesting game, and it's going to be one that I think about for a long time, if nothing else. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to wrap up. But like I said, check out the link in the description below if you would like to purchase the game for yourself. And of course, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything you want to comment about. Subscribe if you want to see more from me every single day. And of course, if you like the video, please do consider clicking the like button. But with that, I thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time.